Hello everybody and welcome to an apology. What you see here is something I built for Mark Thrimm, another KSP YouTuber who asked his subscribers to build some kind of space freighter capable of transferring 1,000 tons to the moon and back. And what I did for him was this thing. I called it the Mark Thrimm. And, well, it did not turn out exactly as powerful as it probably should have been, because it was only capable of getting 500 tons to the moon and back. So, Mark, I am very sorry for not meeting your specifications, and I promise to do better. In the meantime, go to subscribe to Mark's channel, it's really great. Alright! This here is my new interpretation of a moon freighter. So this thing here is designed to transfer a whole lot of cargo from Kerbal's orbit to the moon and back. So what you see here is, of course, the launch of this beast. I've tried to keep at least one element of the original design in place, which was what I would like to call the candle drive. You're going to see what that is a little bit later on. In the meantime, we're going to have a stage separation coming up right here. There we go, the first boosters are away. And then we're going to get this big behemoth of a spaceship into, yes, space. And while that is happening, which was, to be honest, surprisingly a lot easier than I expected, I also experimented a little bit with the camera tools mod, which offers a nice set of panning and camera thingies like this one. Okay, we have now circularized and are separating our booster stage. So here it is, what I would like to call the Munster. This thing here is designed to carry, well, not only 1,000 tons, but 2,000 tons from Kerbal orbit to the moon. You can see here my test weight. This is the NRAP mod. You can set a certain mass of that thing, which is 250 tons. You have seen here how it increases. And you multiply that by 4, you have 1,000. That was wrong. Okay, let's multiply that again by 4. And then you have 2,000 tons of cargo and still 2,325 meters per second of delta V, which should be enough to get to the moon and back. Okay, so what can we do with this? Well, first of all, it takes a lot of time to transfer that amount of mass to the moon. You can see my candle drives lighting up. I have implemented not one, but 2 of those, which are basically nuclear engines stacked around and above each other with a lot of radiators slapped on them. And the interesting thing is, I can fire those for 20 minutes straight without the vehicle overheating. So this was nice. And while that happens, while we do our very tedious and long transfer burn to the moon, we can enjoy the beauty of the spaceship that is the Munster. You can see here I have used the test weights as mock-up cargo because I'm not really sure what I should transport with it yet. But maybe I could use this to build a base on the moon or something like that. Without those cargo thingies, the entire vehicle has a delta V of about 8,000 or something. This could go interplanetary with less cargo really easy. Okay, we are now at the moon, or whatever you want to call it. And now it's time to burn again. So this is basic KSP gameplay. You have to do a retrograde burn to get into orbit of a celestial body, in this case Kerbin's first moon. And while the candle drive is firing, we can watch our trajectory get captured around this nice little rock. And once we have circularized, we can shut those things up and wait until we're back on the day side so we can see what's happening. And what is happening here? We are getting something off of that thing. This is what I would like to call the moon dropper. It is designed to get a payload of 250 tons onto the moon. So here we are, we got our 250 ton and a few extra kilos payload. And once we have docked that, there we go. You could also dock 3 big S3 tanks onto it, doesn't matter. So, and once we have docked that, it is time to get this thing back. Well, not back, but onto the surface of the moon. You can see the stability of the main vehicle. I hit it with the tail of the moon dropper and nothing happened. Which was quite the lucky break, I might add. We are now pointing retrograde, which we of course will need to fire our horizontal engine. And this is, I think, the first time in this video I have engaged the UI outside of the map view, but I really needed it to get this thing safely down onto the moon. First I cancelled out all horizontal velocity, so I only had to fire up those vertical engines and get it down onto the surface, which I did here. And now, well, let's get this cargo delivered to the middle of nowhere. But you could imagine what you could do with this thing. So 250 tons is quite the payload. You could get a lot of stuff onto this moon. Now that thing is safely deployed, let's get back up. And I think I have to do some thrust limiting, because otherwise this thing would flip over. So here we go. Oh no, that was probably the wrong engines I reduced in thrust. Okay, let's try that again. No, still not enough. Okay. Thankfully the gravity of the moon is a lot lower than Kerbin, so we still have some margin for correction. Okay, now. Yes! Well, that was a bit of a close call. But we managed to do fine, and now we're heading back up into orbit of the moon. This was nice. If I had a base on the moon, this thing would be refueled back down on the moon, head back to the Munster, grab the other cargo and head down and repeat until finished, of course. So for this demonstration only we'll just get into orbit and be done with it, so we could dock again and refuel and so on, but we don't have any fuel left on the Munster to do that. So this thing would rely on refueling on the moon to get another piece of cargo onto the surface. So yeah, this is my 2000 ton cargo delivery system for Kerbin to Moon. Once again, sorry to Mark Thrimm for not providing a really shadow zone-y creation in my first attempt. But he also specified a lot less parts than I used in this video, so, well, I failed again. On the other hand, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. So until next time, thanks for watching, goodbye.